Hello everybody! Today we are going to be ranking all of the Ninjago openings, mainly just because I was bored. I am bored waiting for Crystallize to come out on Netflix, so I decided to do this. This is a good use of my time. Anyway, let's get straight into it with number 17. There are a lot of these. Would you look at that? The worst season of Ninjago has the worst intro. I'm just kidding. March of the Oni is not the worst Ninjago season. I'm going to be ranking all of those eventually, so stay around for that. But yeah, this intro, quite basic. March of the Oni, worst intro. Let's get on with number 16. Next up is Season 8's intro, Sons of Garmadon. I don't like that season. It's not very good, and the intro doesn't even have a cool song, which is the main problem with it. Next song. Next up is Season 11's Fire Snake intro. Season 11 has 2 intros. The next one will be showing up very shortly. These are both pretty boring. Next up is the Ice one of Season 11. I told you this was coming up. It's basically the same thing, but with a bit of ice flair. Still quite boring, but slightly less. Next up is In the Mountain. This is a good intro, but it goes on for too long for these 11-minute episodes. It takes up too much space. Next up is number 12. Now, this picture may be misleading, but number 12 is actually the Prime Empire intro. It is a good intro, but it goes on too long, like the In the Mountain one, but I do like it a bit more, so, yeah. I was pretty harsh on Season 8 and Season 10's intros, but Season 9 has a pretty good one, at least compared to Season 8 and 10. Kind of weird that it's in between. Now, I don't like this season that much, but it has a pretty good intro. But anyway, on to number 10. Number 10 is the Ninjago Seabound intro. It's a pretty good intro overall. I like it, but, it follows the curse of all the 11-minute episode intros of just not having that much excitement. But anyway, it's pretty good. Next. Number 9 is the Crystallized intro. This intro is very good for the 11-minute episode intros. It doesn't take up too much time, but it is pretty good. But compared to the early seasons of Ninjago, this intro basically does nothing. But still, it's pretty good. Next up is the final 11-minute episode intro. So let's get to it. Number 8 is the Island intro. This was a pretty big surprise when I was rewatching all the intros for this video, that this intro is really good for the 11-minute intros. It doesn't have much of a song, but that's all of the 11-minute episode intros. It's very nice. It's a bit long, but not too long, and it's overall pretty good. Very nice intro, has nice details, and is overall a good time. But anyway, let's get to number 7. Number 7 is the Skybound intro. It's pretty good, but is overall just mediocre. You may be confused as why I'm speaking of it low regard when the previous one was in much higher regard, but that's because I'm holding these to different standards. They're still better, just I'm holding them to different standards with this explanation, but it's still better. Okay, next up, number 6. Number 6 is the rebooted intro. Now, this intro has the same song as the original intro, which is a really good song, by the way, and is pretty good with good visuals, but once it gets to Woo, the song changes and it gets kind of distorted, and the graphics, this 3D, looks kind of weird. It gets kind of weird near the middle, but at the end it gets back to good, and the beginning is also solid. So yeah, pretty good intro. On to the top 5. Number 5 is the Hands of Time intro. This is a good intro. I like it. It is pretty nice. It has some stops and starts, but it fits the season very well. and is a pretty good intro. I enjoy it. I consider myself a Ninjago intro connoisseur, but it's a pretty good intro. On to number 4. Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spines. Number 4 is the spooky intro. It's very spooky. It's for spooky. This video is uploaded in October, so it fits the mood. It's quite a spooky intro. It is also quite good. I enjoy it. It is good. I like the stops. The art is nice. It is overall good intro. On to number 3. Number 3 is the Tournament of Elements intro. It is a good intro. It is a revamp of the original intro, like rebooted, only I think it does a lot better of a job at revamping it, and is a very nice intro overall. Has a good jungle aesthetic, and is quite nice. It shows off the season very well, and is a great intro. I enjoy it. But now, let's get to number 2. Isn't that funny? Season 2's intro is number 2. That is pretty funny. But yeah, Season 2's intro is great. It's basically just the same as Season 1's intro, which is also great, but it has Lloyd in it, and I don't really like Lloyd, so that's a downgrade. But it is still a very cool intro with an amazing song, and is probably one of the greatest intros of all time, and would definitely be the best intro if it wasn't for number 1. Yeah, Season 1's intro is number 1. You probably already knew this. This is a banger of an intro. Possibly the greatest intro of all time, although the SpongeBob one is pretty good. But yeah, it is just beautiful. It doesn't show the full song. I recommend you do watch it. It's called like That Weekend Whip or something. Very good song, by the way. It's a pretty nice. But, the intro, it just shows off everything Ninjago. It shows off the powers of all the ninjas, which is something that some of the intros don't do for some reason. It shows it off very nicely. It shows it off very perfectly with them all doing stuff. It's very cool. And there's no Lloyd in it. Even when Lloyd is introduced as a good guy, he's still not in it, which is pretty cool. I don't like Lloyd very much, so him not being in it is better. And it's the original intro. You can't go wrong with the original Ninjago intro. But yeah, also I prefer the one with the ZX armor as it just looks cooler. Same intro though, but yeah. Anyway, that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, subscribe because I will be making more Ninjago videos in the future. And if you didn't enjoy the video, then just don't subscribe. It's not a big deal. And, yeah, I'll see you next time. Unless you didn't enjoy this, then you'll probably not watch any more of my videos. Goodbye, and I will see you... Oh, wait, never mind. I already said that. Bye-bye.